A massive F1 scandal has exploded again right in the heart of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The FIA finally handed down one of the biggest verdicts of the year. Both McLaren cars were running outside technical regulations, and the team may have known it long before the race ended. Overnight, suspicion turned into investigation, and what seemed like a dominant run from Norris suddenly transformed into one of the most explosive controversies of the modern era. And now, with new evidence surfacing and McLaren's internal radio messages raising even more eyebrows, the entire paddock is asking the same haunting question. Was this cheating something they did only once in Las Vegas? Or has this hidden strategy been helping them dominate for much longer than we realized? The FIA's follow-up investigation is ongoing. Fans are demanding answers, and this scandal might just reshape the championship fight in a way no one saw coming. Before we dive into this shocking unraveling of events, make sure you subscribe, because this is one video you absolutely cannot afford to miss. The scandal that erupted after the Las Vegas Grand Prix is not just another technical breach. It is a chain reaction that has shaken the 2025 Formula One season to its core. What began as a routine post-race inspection ended with the FIA uncovering excessive plank wear on both McLarens, instantly disqualifying Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. But the real shock came when reports indicated McLaren officials may have known something was wrong long before the stewards even called them in. And from that single revelation, an entire web of hidden clues, strange radio messages, and suspicious performance patterns began to unravel. The plank, a simple wooden board running under the car, is one of the most tightly monitored components in Formula One. Its purpose is to prevent teams from running their cars too low to the ground, which would generate more downforce and give a massive performance advantage. The rule is clear: more than 1 millimeter of extra wear, and it's an automatic disqualification. No argument, no exception. According to the FIA's measurements in Las Vegas, Norris exceeded the limit by 1.12 millimeter, while Piastri breached it by 0.126 millimeter. Both figures are undeniable violations. But the striking part is that 8 other cars in the top 10, including teams battling the exact same bumps on the Vegas streets, had no such issue. On paper, McLaren insisted this was caused by unexpected porpoising, paired with limited practice data due to wet sessions and yellow flags. Team principal Andrea Stella claimed they were blindsided by severe bouncing during the race that wasn't present during practice. But this explanation immediately raised questions. If the issue only appeared during the race, how did both cars end up showing near-identical symptoms? And why did the team behave in a way that suggests they were managing a known problem? Because this is where the radio messages begin to tell a very different story. Throughout the race, both Norris and Piastri received repeated instructions to lift and coast at very specific corners. Turns 5, 11, and 17. At first glance, it resembled standard fuel-saving protocol. Vegas is a long, high-energy circuit, and fuel management isn't unusual. But as the laps went on, the messages became oddly targeted. Norris was told exactly where to lift, even after the team confirmed fuel looks okay now. Why keep lifting if fuel wasn't the problem? That's when analysts began proposing a more alarming theory. The fuel-saving message was a decoy. By slowing the car at key compression points on the track, McLaren could reduce the bottoming out that was scraping away their plank. The goal wasn't fuel conservation, it was mechanical survival. This theory grows even more convincing when looking at Norris's pace. On lap 45, he was just 5.5 seconds behind Max Verstappen. 5 laps later, he finished over 20 seconds behind, with no mechanical issue or strategic change. This wasn't tire degradation, this was damage control. Even Red Bull noticed the bizarre patterns. When McLaren told Norris, "Let's go get Max, but continue with lifts in 17, 5, and 11, Verstappen was warned immediately. His engineer said, "Lando has been told to come and get you. He is saving in turns 17, 5, and 11. The information made no sense if fuel wasn't the problem, but made perfect sense if McLaren was trying to limit further plank wear. Others suggested that the team panicked mid-race when plank wear became too severe, scrambling to manage the situation without openly admitting there was a potential disqualification looming. The secrecy, the coded instructions, and the cautious handling of pace all paint a picture of a team balancing on a knife edge between performance and compliance. Even Piastri admitted after the race that they were always looking at where we can gain performance, a phrase many interpreted as a subtle acknowledgement of aggressive ride. height strategies, and calculated risks taken throughout the weekend. These comments added fuel to the fire of speculation, reinforcing the idea that McLaren might have been operating right on the limits of the rules all season, only to have the Las Vegas track surface finally expose what had been carefully managed until now. And the consequences? They were immediate and dramatic. Before the disqualification, Norris was on the verge of securing his first world championship with a comfortable points gap over both Verstappen and Piastri. But after the Las Vegas results were overturned, the standings were thrown into chaos. Norris 390, Piastri 366, Verstappen 366. Suddenly, the two challengers were tied, just 24 points behind the Briton. And with only 2 race weekends remaining, every single point gained or lost could make the difference between winning or losing the championship. What had appeared to be a clear path to victory for McLaren became a storm of uncertainty, scrutiny, and immense psychological pressure. The FIA is continuing a deeper investigation into why this issue surfaced so late and whether McLaren had been pushing these limits throughout the season. Questions remain about internal communications,